We will start a short but intensive discussion, let's hope, about the health tech, and we will continue with special guests here. Welcome, please, Mr. Miloš Dendis from Dendis Capital, and Michal Nešpor from Crowdberry. So welcome on the stage.
So, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I would go straight forward because we have really short time. And I will start with the question, why? Why you started, why you invest into the health tech, and why you choose one of the most difficult segments at the market. So I will pass it to you guys.
Maybe I will start because I didn't have a choice. My background is I'm a scientist. My background is biology. I'm graduated molecular biologist and geneticist. So I had only one option. So if I wanted to found my company, it had to be a biotech company. So we founded Czech biotech company Geneproof in 2005 and spent almost 20 years in building this company. Now this company has more than 100 employees, and we deliver our products in more than 70 countries all over the world. So it was not choice for me.
So the why was because I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And I exited from the company in 2022, and I decided to continue to support biotech, health tech, life science companies because I understand it. I know how difficult it is to build the company in this field. And I like it. I love it. I really love it. So
thank you very much. So this is your why, and Martin, what's your why?
Hi everyone. I'm Michal Nešpor, partner with Crowdberry. Just to give you an overview, we have been on the market for 9 years. We are now managing and have invested over 120 million euros, so that's something like 3 billion Czech crowns in more than 100 startups. We do that through dedicated investment funds, but also through, I would say, an alternative investment platform where private investors like you can choose specific investment opportunities and invest directly. Or since the beginning of the year, you can lend this company money, so you can become a banker. My background is venture capital, so I'm a generalist. I was working for a VC fund in Vienna, investing in German-speaking countries. I then moved on to a technology accelerator, working with academics, startups. And in all of these positions, roughly a third of the companies were life science, health tech, healthcare companies. So I had an exposure. I'm not a trained scientist. I don't have a medical background, but I have been in touch with life science investments for 19 years now. And when we talk to investors over the past 9 years, we have almost 10,000 registered investors, which are private individuals from Slovakia and Czech Republic. There was always a positive feedback for, I would say, health-related companies and business models. I'm specifically not saying health tech, because we invest through a broader value chain from infrastructure all the way, or through digital health, all the way to cancer diagnostics and diagnostics companies. So this was our choice. We see an opportunity. We see that there is a huge gap in certain areas. That's why we chose to fill it. Roughly 15% of the 100 companies are health or health-related companies.
You actually already touched my next question, because I was quite curious. Health tech is quite wide and deep, so it's a lot of variations and a lot of type of companies could be and can be established. But what's your main focus, vertically and horizontally? Where is the main focus of your fund?
It's not a combination of fund plus private investors. 2/3 of the capital that we manage is really private money. So it's private investors who invest directly company by company, so they choose what they want to invest in. They don't invest in the funds except for our real estate fund. And as I mentioned, our focus is starting from infrastructure, like senior homes, polyclinics, full care, all the way to digital health startups, like a platform for DNA testing and related services, and deep techs like glycanostics or multiplex DX, which are creating cancer diagnostics tests for early stage cancer diagnostics and late stage cancer diagnostics. That's really deep tech science, very IP heavy. And all of these companies in the portfolio have certain synergies in terms of testing the products and access of the patients to healthcare.
Thank you very much. Miloš?
So for me, it is quite easier because I have to like the company I would like to invest in. So the first, what I'm looking for is nice technology, deep technology, something related to the medicine, to the biology, something which I understand. I can understand. So then I have to see good focus on customer and on customer needs, and to be able to understand which customer needs are and who will pay for the and why will pay for the technology. And third, and especially in health tech, founders must be aware of regulation, because health tech is about the regulation. It is the most expensive and biggest part of the development process or of the placement of the product on the market. So no development, no technological development, but regulation, certification. And without certification, there is no health tech products. And it is necessary to distinguish real health tech products and health tech projects from health tech-like projects or lifestyle projects, fitness projects, wellness projects, which pretend to be health tech. There's a difference because by certification, you prove that the product really works. You proved performance and safety of the product. And it is in medicine, in health, it is important. It must be.
So for you, it's the distinguish like to ask for the certification. If the startup would like to ask about the certification, it's the right startup for you, more or less, of course.
Yeah. They must be aware of this because there are startups which would like to avoid certification, and they are startups which would like to pass certification. So I focus on startups which would like to pass certification. However, it is very tricky and hard and difficult.
And long. Actually, you are touching again my next question, because it's even possible in Czech Republic to start with the startup which is really like with the global potential, because there is not so much capital in Czech Republic to be invest into the company to have global impact. Or do you have any other experience?
I think you have more capital available than in Slovakia. Of course, the health tech or the life sciences sector is underrepresented, not only in these two countries, in our two countries, but in CE in general. We closed the gap by tapping into private investors and some early stage VC money, but it is really hard. That's why we have built a few instruments where the startup can tap into pre-seed, seed, and then growth capital when moving through various changes. We have invested from our early stage fund at the level where the technology was not patented. There was a proof of concept. We then tapped into the first investment campaign from private investors. They moved to patent approved. And now we are raising a 5 million round because the company is still viewed as very risky from international investors. They like to see CE mark, so regulation. which we are now fundraising part of the money for in our investment round. And we have recently closed another investment round, which was 8 million euros into the other cancer diagnostics company, which still is before certification, but the product is ready and they are offering it as a second opinion. There's already for live patients. So we are trying to fill the gap that you have mentioned, that there is very little capital. But it seems that there was a big announcement today in one of the digital health tech startups in Czech Republic raising their Series A. So there is hope.
Again, long hope, but
so definitely it is possible to found your biotech or health tech company with global impact. The Geneproof company we founded is one of the example, and we bootstrapped it from the beginning. So our first investors was our last investor. So our first investor was for me exit opportunity. And I think that there is enough money for investment. There is not enough good projects in health tech sector, med tech sector, IVD sector. So what I miss is good projects. And I think if you have good project, you will find enough resources for investment.
Actually, there is one.
I wanted to say, let's talk.
It's good to hear that there is a lot of money for health tech startups. So in case you are thinking about, there is just this propensity in stage of the startups you need to get investment, as actually Michal was mentioning, that they are filling the gap. And I feel that the gap here is quite strong, like the wide one. So you need to go to US market to have some global impact, but to get to US market you need certification, and the certification costs so much money that no investor will from Czech Republic will contribute to this. It depends about the product, of course. So what are actually the factors you are taking into consideration, like, okay, this is crucial for me when I'm evaluating the viability of health tech startup? What are the crucial things you are taking into this consideration?
If you are talking about the early stages, it's definitely the founders, and you just track their progress over time.
And if you say founders, what's important for you?
If we are talking about life sciences, health tech, there needs to be a strong science and strong scientific background. Both of the cancer diagnostics companies that we have invested in, the founders, one of them was almost 20 years abroad, did his postdoc at the Rockefeller University, was working at the National Institute of Health in the US, then returned back from the US to Slovakia with his family. With the other two, one was at the Oxford University doing his postdoc, was awarded the first ERC grant, which is a very prestigious grant, corroborating his skills and background. And then the company was awarded the third EIC grant directly in Slovakia, which is another strong factor. I mean, funnily enough, or sadly enough, the only 4 companies in Slovakia that have received an EIC grant are in our portfolio. It keeps improving the company. There are more and more companies with higher quality, but I mean, CE was not on the map of EIC a few years ago. It was hardly tilted to Western European projects. They didn't want to award the grant. So for us, it's also the grants where you have an expert jury, not the local ones, but international and prestigious ones where we say, okay, we have invested a little bit money, they have shown progress, attracted grants. Now we are doing a second round, and they keep increasing the financing mix between private money and public money, which I think is important if you need to build regulated biotech with prospective validation on a larger scale of patients. You need extra money for that.
Yeah. So what's your point of view?
So I have several. So first, I need to see patient need. That it is clear that patient need. So there's a place for product, for service, for the patient to improve the health, quality of the life. Then I need to see nice technology, deep technology, something scientific, something which I am amazed. And then project must be built on 4 basic pillars. There must be medical pillar, technology pillar, regulatory pillar, and commercial pillar. And everything, all 4 pillars must be built from the beginning. So you cannot wait until you develop the technology and then to certify it, because the development is the part of the certification. You cannot wait for to add the commercial part at the end. No, because the commercial part of the company brings inputs into the development. So it brings inputs how product or service must be to fit patient needs. So I need to see comprehensive project built from these 4 pillars.
And what, as you are talking with startups, I guess in healthtech, what are like the 3 things which they supposed to focus or do to avoid some mistakes in the future? I heard the certification implemented at the beginning to make it all together, to have strong background like scientific. Is there any other recommendation to have it on the short list?
I mean, I agree with Miloš. You don't get far if you don't focus on everything Miloš just said. You have to design the product early enough in a way where it can go global. I think one area which probably doesn't need to be mentioned, but some startups really neglect, is that they need to focus on early collection of their IP and centralizing is in the company, and not only focusing on patents, but on everybody who was working on the IP, having signed contracts, transferred the IP to the company in a such way that it can be then commercially used on a global scale. We've almost did not invest in one of the most prospective biotechs because it seemed that we cannot tidy up the mess that they have created over the 3 years before they were talking to us. And I know that private investors, business angels, did not specifically invest because they did not find a solution how to tidy up the IP. They then invested through us because we managed to clean it up.
That was actually as well one of my questions. If I'm a startup, I will come to you, I will fill the criteria, the 4-pillar rule, let's say. What should be like my strongest focus when I will be talking to you? Should it be like rather the scientific or the solution or the customer?
Patient is the reason.
Customer.
So a patient needs, so you need to know, and you need to know that you are building, technology is just tool how to fulfill patient needs. So yeah, you need technology and nice, I love technologies, but nobody wants to buy technology. Everybody would like to buy some benefit. Doesn't matter which technology. So the customer focus, the focus on customer needs, in this case, the customer is patient, is most important.
I hear you. I maybe just will add some extra
I would say an extra layer.
Yeah.
It's the patient that represents also a certain commercial need. If you are invested into a company, you have to build a product towards the patient needs, but also in a way, if you want to build a scalable product that can be integrated in how the healthcare treatment works.
Yeah, actually, I would like to ask you to comment more about this. And my question to you would be, okay, so how you can support the startups when they will come to you, have great technology, have the need of the patients, etc., etc. But the market in health tech is quite closed and conservative, so they cannot enter the market so easily with the solutions. So they are going from science, they are going from research centers, great ideas, no funding, great people, great product, needs clear, but there is a strong concurrence which is not allowing me to enter the market. And this question, how you will support and help me as a startup founder to reach this market, is the question you can ask during the beer session, because the time is already done. So I just gave you some tip what I would be curious and I will be asking. Just I will let one last sentence, which is quite useful, I think. What are like 3 first steps I supposed to do when I'm starting a business in health tech industry? First 3 steps, the easygoing.
I would focus on your team, and your team.
I agree because any good idea, any good technology without appropriate execution is nothing. So and I experienced a lot of the nice technologies, but they failed because there was not team which would be able to execute it, and there was not focus on patient needs.
I have so many questions. I'm so sorry. I would like to ask you many, many things. Anyway, thank you very much for your contribution. And as it's mentioned in the question list, there was as well connection to the, okay, so what if the target group or user of my product or customer is the hospital or the system? And this is again the question we're supposed to bring to the coffee table and drink a coffee together with Miloš or Michal and or drink beer. It's partly health, partly not. And you can come even with some cybersecurity solutions, which are quite important in the future, and it's kind of trend. And about the cybersecurity will be the short talk in 30 seconds here on the stage. So thank you very much, Miloš. Thank you very much, Michal.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.